Have you ever wondered why everything seems to affect you more than it should? Why a careless word, a cold glance, or a rejection keeps echoing inside you for days, while everyone else seems to just move on? Have you ever wished you were different? Someone who doesn't crumble under criticism, who doesn't fall apart every time they're betrayed or lose something. Maybe you're just tired of holding yourself together all the time, tired of maintaining that image of strength, when deep down, all you really want is to breathe, just for a moment without pretending that you're okay. But let me tell you something no one ever told you before. As long as you keep running from pain, it will keep deciding the direction of your life. As long as you try to numb yourself, to hide, to protect yourself, you'll remain a prisoner of everything around you, of the words that cut you, the actions that disappoint you, and the silences that weigh heavier than screams. And this isn't weakness, it's humanity. The only difference is that some people have just learned to hide it better. Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds in depth psychology, once said, "We are not what happens to us. We are what we choose to become." And that's where the turning point begins. It's not about shielding yourself from the world. It's not about turning to stone so you don't feel. It's about integration, bringing into the light what still hurts in the dark. Because true strength isn't the absence of pain. It's knowing who you are, even when everything inside you is breaking. If you've made it this far, it's not by chance. This video is for you, the one who's tired of getting hurt by everything and everyone. For you who feels like you're always at an emotional disadvantage, as if the world holds some kind of power over you that you can't yet understand. I want to show you that it doesn't have to be that way. But for that, you'll have to face a few truths that might hurt. And maybe for the first time, that pain won't destroy you. It will set you free. Let's begin. You believe that what hurts you lives out there, in people's actions, in careless words, in rejections and betrayals. But the truth is brutal. None of that has the power to hurt you, unless there's already an open wound inside you. What really hurts isn't what others do to you. It's what their actions awaken within you. It's the story you keep repeating in silence every time you feel pain. It's the old trauma you never faced. The emptiness you cover with strength, with pride, with that desperate need to look fine, even when everything in you screams otherwise. Jung shows us that the pain we feel in front of the external world is only a reflection of what hasn't yet been integrated within us. That's why some people can go through storms and remain clear, while others fall apart over a single comment. It's not about what happens, it's about where it hits you. And here comes a hard truth. You still suffer so much because, deep down, you believe you can control how the world should treat you. You still try to be good enough, smart enough, strong enough, understanding enough, as if that would somehow protect you from pain. But control is an illusion, and the more you cling to it, the more tension you create. Trying to predict the unpredictable, trying to avoid the inevitable. You want to stop suffering? Then stop protecting yourself from suffering. What you need isn't more control, it's more awareness. As long as you believe people have to change for you to stop hurting, you'll remain enslaved by their actions. Your freedom begins the moment you realize that everything coming from the outside only has power if it finds an echo within you. And that's exactly where the real battlefield lies, the unconscious. What you don't see, don't understand, and don't master masters you. And that's what we'll explore in the next part. Get ready to dive deeper, because that's where true transformation begins. If this message resonates with you, click the subscribe button and stay with us. Thank you for your support. It has nothing to do with ignoring pain, avoiding conflict, or pretending not to care. It has to do with integration, with acceptance, with bringing to light everything you've buried in the dark. You don't become untouchable by building walls between you and the world. You become untouchable when you realize that no one can touch what's already been embraced within you. When you integrate your shadows, your fears, your flaws, your insecurities, you stop reacting to everything. You observe. You choose. You're no longer an emotional puppet. And that is real freedom. Jung called this individuation the process of becoming who you truly are, not who others expect you to be, not who you thought you had to be accepted, but what emerges from within, from the meeting of light and shadow, of ego and unconscious. Individuation, Jung said, isn't a process of perfection. It's a process of integration. You don't need to become a better person. You just need to become whole. And here's the secret no one ever told you. The more you run from pain, the more it chases you. The more you try not to be affected, the more fragile you become. But when you face your wounds, when you accept who you are, with everything beautiful and ugly, noble and shameful within you, nothing outside has the power to break you anymore. Yet this path demands courage. Courage to look within. Courage to take off the masks. Courage to feel. Because it's precisely inside pain that the key to transformation hides. And that's what we're about to uncover. How suffering, far from being your enemy, can become the doorway to your real strength. Let's dive deeper. And this time, without fear. From an early age, you were taught to hate pain. You were told that suffering is weakness, that crying is a waste of time, that feeling too much makes you vulnerable. And that's how you began to run, to avoid, to deny. But the more you flee from suffering, the more it hunts you down. And the worst part? It changes shape. It disguises itself as anxiety, anger, apathy, boredom, or those self-destructive impulses you can't even explain. Ignored pain doesn't disappear. It just digs tunnels inside you, until one day, without warning, everything collapses. Jung saw pain through a completely different lens. He believed that suffering is the messenger of the soul, the alarm of the unconscious, the language your self uses to get your attention. He once said, "Depression is like a lady in black. If she appears, don't push her away. Invite her in, offer her a chair, and listen to what she has to say. But you don't listen. You silence yourself. You distract yourself. You keep busy. You numb your senses. You do everything you can to avoid facing what truly matters." But what is this pain trying to show you? The truth is, suffering hurts so much because you're still at war with yourself. There's a part of you that wants to grow, and another that wants everything to stay exactly the same. Something inside you is calling for transformation, but your ego, addicted to control, keeps trying to suffocate that call. And it's in that friction that pain is born. Because change hurts. Growth hurts. Letting go of what no longer serves you hurts. Breaking old beliefs. Cutting toxic ties. Allowing parts of yourself to die so new ones can emerge. All of this is a kind of mourning. An internal process of death and rebirth. But it's exactly in that ruin where something new can finally be born. Because when everything inside you is deconstructed, when all your certainties collapse, when pain strips you bare, you finally see who you are without the layers of protection, without the performance, without the mask. And at that exact point, suffering becomes sacred, because it brings you to your knees before the only thing that can set you free, yourself. Jung understood this. He knew that suffering isn't a system failure, it's part of the process. Pain isn't the end of the road. It's the beginning of the journey toward individuation. The problem is that most people give up before crossing the dark valley. They run. They distract themselves. They crawl back to the surface. But you don't. If you've made it this far, it's because you're ready to cross. And in the next part, we'll understand how this process unfolds. How the path of individuation, no matter how lonely or brutal it seems, is exactly what sets you free. Let's continue. Now we're going deeper. Few have the courage to begin the journey of individuation, and even fewer have the courage to complete it, because this path doesn't promise comfort. It offers no guarantees. It doesn't protect your ego, it destroys it. Jung said that individuation is the process of becoming who you are. But that means, above all, unlearning who you think you are. And that hurts more than any rejection from the outside. Because you start realizing that most of what defined you until now was an illusion. You are not your achievements. You are not your traumas. You are not the image you built to be loved, respected, or admired. All of that was what you created to survive. But survival is not living. Individuation is life's call beyond survival. It's when the unconscious starts pushing everything you've repressed, hidden, or distorted to the surface. Individuation requires the dissolution of the persona, Jung wrote, for it is merely a mask of collective convenience. In other words, you will have to tear off your own skin to discover what lies beneath. And it's in that process that you begin to become untouchable. Not because nothing can touch you anymore, but because you've already walked through the fire. You've faced your monsters. You've looked into the eyes of your shame, your neediness, your anger, and you said, "I see you." And now, you no longer control me. That inner clarity, that lucidity in the face of your own darkness, gives you a strength that doesn't depend on approval, recognition, or control. You no longer need to be loved by everyone. You no longer need to win every argument. You no longer need to appear strong, because you know who you are, and no one can take that away from you. True emotional armor isn't a shell. It's a center. It's the integration of all your parts into a core of consciousness that remains unshaken in the middle of the storm. You may feel pain, but it doesn't break you. You may bleed, but you don't lose yourself, because you've stopped being reactive and become whole. You've stopped living on the surface and begun to dwell in the depths. But depth has a price: solitude. Not because you'll be alone, but because few people can walk beside you on this path. Most are still trapped on the surface, in masks, in fear, in the habit of avoiding their own feelings. And when you start freeing yourself, you inevitably drift away. But that distance isn't rejection, it's maturity. You don't walk away out of pride. You walk away because you no longer fit in the places where you once hid. And that brings us to the final point of this journey: consciousness as your shield. Because it's not strength that protects you, it's clarity. That's what we'll talk about now. Consciousness as the only state, where nothing, absolutely nothing, has power over you anymore. Let's finish this crossing together. We're almost there. Now that you've come this far, there's something that must be said clearly. Nothing, absolutely nothing, will protect you from external suffering. If you remain unconscious of what's happening within you, the words will keep cutting. The rejections will keep stinging. The losses will keep knocking you down until you wake up. And awakening is not a miracle. It's a choice you make every single day. It's looking inward even when it hurts. It's taking responsibility for everything you feel, without blaming others, the past, or fate. Carl Jung once said, "What you resist persists. What you accept transforms." You've spent your whole life resisting the fear of not being enough, the emptiness of rejection, the pain of loneliness, the anguish of not feeling seen. But what did you do with all that? You hid. You went silent. You tried to control everything. You tried to be perfect. You tried to be strong. And all of that brought you here, exhausted, tired of fighting the world and yourself. But now you know, true emotional immunity isn't hardness. It's clarity. It's not about building armor. It's about expanding awareness. Because when you understand your triggers, your patterns, your wounds, the actions of others lose their power to destroy you. You still feel, but you don't drown. You still suffer, but you don't lose yourself. And that changes everything. What protects you isn't avoiding life. It's diving into it. Those who live on the surface get hurt by every wave. But those who dive deep find silence, find stability, find power. And that's where you're headed. When you start living from that place of integration, of presence, of acceptance, the world might still try to bring you down, but it no longer knows where to hit you. If this message touched something inside you, if something within you has awakened, write in the comments, "I choose awareness." Let's start a movement of people who no longer want to pretend to be strong, but to live in truth. And don't forget, the next video is part of this same journey. It matters. You need to keep going. Real transformation only begins when you don't stop at the first step. See you there.